Surrender is not a white flag, giving up or giving in. Surrender is giving over to the infinite within. Surrender is not a prison, there are no borders where I live. Surrender is a freedom only letting go can give. Oh, whoa, oh, 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 oh. Whoa, oh, I'm letting go. Oh, I put a little rock into my roll. I'm letting go. Oh, oh, oh. The seeds of love will grow. I'm letting go. Oh, oh, so I can sing my song. I'm letting go. Oh, oh, 'cause I gotta let go to hold on. I'm in the trenches of the road, and I'm not living blindly. I said I've got my eyes open and I'm letting go. Oh, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh, 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 whoa, oh, I'm letting go. Oh, I put a little rock into my roll. I'm letting go. Oh, oh, oh. The seeds of love will grow. I'm letting go. Oh, oh, so I can sing my song. I'm letting go. Oh, 'cause I gotta let go to hold on. I'm not a pretender, but I'm a contender to be in surrender today. Don't be a defender of doubt, but remember that you are the light of your way. I'm not a pretender, but I'm a contender to be in surrender today. Don't be a defender of doubt, but remember that you are the light of your way. I'm letting go. Oh, I put a little soul into my bowl. I'm letting go. Oh, 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 'cause I know those seeds of love are gonna grow. I'm letting go. Oh, 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 so I can sing my song. I'm letting go. Oh, 'cause I gotta let go to, gotta let go to, I've got to let go to hold on. Ooh, ooh. Let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go. Hold on, let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go. Hold on, let go, hold on, let go, hold on, let go. Hold on. Scrapes, burns, twists and turns, you might call me damaged. Nicks, cuts, dips and ruts, I've been bruised and bandaged. Every dark night leads to a new morning light, and all of my scars have turned me into a piece of art. Each fear, every loss and tear, all the hard goodbyes, lows, hits, all the dirt, all the grit, all of it has made me wise. Every dark night leads to a new morning light, and all of my sorrow gives me hope for a better tomorrow. It's when I'm falling, I feel so high, and when I'm crawling, that I wanna reach out for the sky. And when I'm lonely, I can hold on to the truth. That is when I'm broken open. That's when the light comes through. Ins, outs, screams and shouts. Life is complicated. This is my wild ride. Hell no, I wouldn't trade it. But every love that's gone leads me to another love song, and all of my sorrow gives me hope for a better tomorrow. It's when I'm falling, I feel so high, and when I'm crawling,
Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, and welcome to another fabulous Sunday morning. My name is Reverend Chris Alexander, and I am the senior minister here at Celebration Center. We are physically located in Falls Church, Virginia. However, we have a commitment to be a truly global community, and so everything that we offer is either hybrid or online only. So with that being said, if you are joining us online today, say good morning in the chat. Let us know what you're up to. What book are you reading right now? I was teaching youth and family ministry yesterday for the Napa Campus School of Spiritual Leadership for our up-and-coming ministers. And they are reading some really cool books right now, y'all. I think I bought 3 books throughout the day to add to my Kindle and add to my reading list. So what book are you reading right now that you want us to know about? Or books, you know, I tend to read a couple at a time. And if you are joining us here in the room, and welcome to you as well. I invite you to silence your cell phones, but no need to turn them off. If you want to tell us what book you're reading right now as well, you are welcome to go on Facebook or YouTube and do that as well. If you are joining us for the very first time, an extra special welcome to you. We would love for you to fill out a guest card, and you can do that in a couple of different places and ways. The first is by scanning this QR code that's popped up right here next to me, or you can go to bit.ly/CCSL guest. My goodness. So I invite you to fill out that guest card. Let us know a little bit about you so that we can sign you up for our mailing list if you opt in, and we can find out how to support you as a part of your beloved community. And if you are joining us online today, that means that you are poised to hit that share button. So we invite you to share us out onto social media so that all of your friends and family can join in on the festivities today. We have an extra special service planned today. I say that every week, and this week it's especially true. I am going to be giving the message. We have a new topic, Light Within the Shadows, this morning. And we have our guest musician, Eli Lev. I think, aren't you back from being in tour all over the place? He just got back into town from being on tour, and now he's here with us. Let's give Eli a round of applause. And we also have Jenn, our brilliant practitioner, as our practitioner on platform this morning. Let's give her a round of applause as well. If you have, speaking of practitioners, if you have a prayer request that you would like for us to pray for, there are a couple of different ways that you can get us that information. The first is by scanning this QR code, or you can go to celebrationcenter.org and click on Request Affirmative Prayer, or you can come right up here to the front if you happen to be in the room and fill out one of the green prayer cards. Those go confidentially to our ministers and practitioners, where we pray on them throughout the week. We are continuing our toy drive for Lutheran Social Services. So as y'all know, their resource center has recently opened in Alexandria, and they have a vision of being able to give a toy to every single child that walks through the door with their parents to receive resources. And so bring in a new toy for any age, any child, and support our toy drive. And World Refugee Day is coming up on June 9th. And I don't have a slide for this yet. I don't really have information. However, Lutheran Social Services, in partnership with a couple of other organizations that provide refugee services in the DC area, is doing this huge fair and carnival with all of these games and art projects and all kinds of stuff for refugee families to come and see how loved they are by our community. And we have signed up to do a collaborative art project with the refugees and children, anybody who comes, this collaborative art project that is then going to hang in the lobby of the Resource Center all year long for anybody who comes in to see how loved they are, even if they didn't participate in that collaborative art project. So stay tuned for more information. We are getting all the details together. There are going to be opportunities to purchase supplies, opportunities to donate funds for us to purchase supplies, and opportunities to volunteer. I am so excited to go to this event. There are going to be hundreds of people there. We're going to see so much love and excitement and joy and energy and fun and playfulness and other organizations. It's going to be phenomenal. So put June 9th on your calendar. It's in the evening to volunteer with us. The more the merrier, and we will give you more details to come. And finally, our book sale. I know I said that last week was the final week, but if you are here in the room, you can see that there are still books everywhere. That is because today only, one-time event, BYOB, bring your own bag. That's right, any size bag. Come in with your IKEA bags and fill it for $5. That's right, $5. Fill a bag with books. You can buy books for you. You can buy books for your friends. You can buy books for your family. You can buy books and drop them off in all of the little libraries and all of the neighborhoods that you pass on your way home. Buy books for everyone. Not only does it support the center with the fundraising aspect, it supports the center in not figuring out what we have to do with the books that you take with you. So, fill a bag for $5. If you didn't bring your own bag, then we have a bag for you. Have no fear. We will make sure that you get $5 worth of books. And finally, I have a couple of announcements today. Are you here and ready, Ed? Okay. The first is that our founder, the person who started Celebration Center, it was not called that. It was called, somebody here knows, the Center for Religious Science, but it had a very formal name, the Metropolitan Center for Religion. Tim's going to put it in the chat any moment. I just know. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But Reverend Noel McGinnis and his wife, Rita McGinnis, founded this center back in 1985. And I wanted to let y'all know that Reverend Noel made his transition on Monday afternoon. And so we are loving him up and sending him on his journey. Also, our beloved Andy Murphy also made his transition this week on Tuesday morning. And he was at home with his beloved wife, Terry, who is here with us this morning. And so we are just sending him, Terry, the whole family, his children, his grandchildren, everyone, lots of love at this time. And in honor of these two amazing men that did so much for not only our community here at Celebration Center, but so much out into the world, I would like to invite Ed Preston, who is a longtime practitioner emeritus here at Celebration Center. He knew Reverend Noel very well and was very close to him, and Andy is one of his 5 lifelong best friends. And so I'd like to invite Ed up to read his favorite poem, Flow, by Reverend Noel McGinnis.
I was prepared to say all of that same stuff as introduction, but now I don't need to. Actually, Andy was one of my best friends of all times. And I've celebrated him and just love him so much. And I miss him, but he peacefully went. And somehow I feel okay now. And I'm sure Terry does too. And then Noel went the day before. And I got to know Noel when they moved out here to the Celebration Center down in the building downstairs in 1992. And Noel and Rita were ministers there then. And I quickly got to know him very well. And it was just a year or so after I came that Rita left first, and then shortly after that, Noel left. But I was sad to hear that he passed today, or this week on Monday. But one of my favorite poems of all times was written by Noel. So I brought that, and I'm prepared to read it now. And its title is just Flow. Be as water is, without friction. Flow around the edges of those within your path. Surround within your ever-moving depths those who come to rest there. Enfold them, while never for a moment holding on. Accept whatever distance others are moved within your flow. Be with them gently, as far as they allow your strength to take them, and fill with your own being the remaining space when they are left behind. When dropping down life's rapids, froth and bubble into fragments if you must, knowing that the one of you, now many, may just as many times be one again. And when you've gone as far as you can go, quietly await your next beginning. Flow. Amen. By Reverend Noel McGinnis.
Flow like water. I love that. I always wait to figure out what song I'm going to perform until whatever happens before me happens. Turns out I have a song called Water. And it's about gratitude and being with the ones you love. So I'm going to sing that now for y'all. And tell me I got water. Tell me I got bread. And tell me I got shelter, a place to lay my head. Never been so far out on my own. Never been so high, never felt so alone. And tell me I got water. Tell me I got bread. And tell me I got shelter and a place to lay my head. Never been so far out on my own. Never been so high, never felt so alone. Well, some days I feel like a motherless child. And some days I feel so much joy I could cry. And tell me all my family are safe and sound. I could feel their love the whole world around. And all my friends that I hold dear shine on like diamonds, oh so clear. Yes, some days I feel like a motherless child. Some days I feel so much joy I could cry. Some days I feel like a motherless child. Some days I feel so much joy I could cry.
I am feeling some synchronicities here with the poem of flow and the water and the song and the light and the dark, the shadow and the light. That's the theme for the month. It's just like, wow. So I'm Jenn, one of the practitioners here, and please join me as we say our vision statement together. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. So I was delighted last night. I found a reading from Rumi that really, I think, fits our theme. He writes, "The most ambiguous reality is that we are flesh and spirit at the same time. Within everyone, there is light and shadow, love and hate. In order to be truthful, you must embrace your total being. A person who exhibits strengths and weaknesses is not flawed, but complete. Both light and shadow are the dance of love." So take a breath with me, and then holding that breath, and then letting it go. And again, breathing in, holding, and release. One more time, breathing in, holding, and release. And so feeling centered just by changing the way we breathe. Such a gift. Feeling centered by being aware of the preciousness of life, of the natural flow of life, of the experience of life in the light and the dark, and how you can't have a shadow without light. And so we are blessed just relaxing into this moment, aware of that heart space, aware of how we connect heart to heart, aware of our focus on the heart allows that electromagnetic field to expand and fill our bodies with healing energy. Fill our aura fields with light. Fill the room we're in with this energy that makes a difference. And I invite you to just take a moment and direct this energy toward anyone, any place, any circumstance that would benefit from this amazing heart energy that is filled with all these high vibrational qualities that we long to experience more of. And so we send a blessing out to everyone, and especially anyone who is feeling lost or lonely. We send blessings out to anyone who is suffering. Taking another breath, we anchor this energy in our body, in our being, as we move into prayer. There is one life expressing through all of life, one heart beating with the rhythm of love and truth. And from this one, we evolve. From this awareness of all this support that we have, we relax in the evolution. We allow for this divine energy to move through us and as us, and allow ourselves to be surprised, not only by what we see or are drawn to, but by who we become in the process of evolution. And so it is through the darkness, through the challenges, that we are uplifted again and again, that we rise above. We enter into that light state where we just relax into perhaps knowing, having the awareness of a bigger picture, where life holds so much potentiality, so much grace, so much wonder and beauty and connection. And I'm grateful for that feeling when it comes. To just be in that state of sweet surrender, sweet awareness, feeling the expansiveness of the universe and of my own being and of the being of everyone. We are so complex. So fascinating, we humans. And we lean into that spiritual essence, that is our inner strength, that allows us to be. And so I release these words into that universal law that knows what I believe and knows what each of us believe. And it responds perfectly every time. Revealing what is beneath the surface often, revealing a truth that sets us free. And so it is.
And now we have another song from Eli. Let's welcome him up.
Play a fun song here. It's called Chasing Daylight. Well, there's something about the weather when we're out on our own. Something about the path that leads us forever home. We don't need a reason, just changing with the seasons, following the feeling in our souls. And now that you're with me, we're chasing daylight and we're so fully alive. And I can't believe the world's still turning 'cause we're hopelessly alive. You and me in the sunrise. We're still miles away from the end of the day, and the wind walks by our side. We'll fly through the rivers and we'll swim through the sky. Nothing can bring us down when it's you and I. Now that you're, with me, we're chasing daylight and we're so fully alive. It's a powerful song. And I can't believe the world's still turning 'cause we're hopelessly alive. You and me in the sunrise. You and me in the sunrise. And oh, this golden road leads us on forever on. Now that you're with me, we're chasing daylight and we're so fully alive. Into the sunrise, letting it all go. Now that you're with me, yeah, we're chasing daylight and we're so fully alive. And oh, I can't believe the world's still turning 'cause we're hopelessly alive. You and me in the sunrise.
I was jamming over there. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Eli. So today we are talking about the inner and outer spectrum and this idea of finding the light in the shadows. And I'm gonna start off with kind of the punchline first, right? Here's the reality of it. People are dying in the shadow of our light. We tend to think that light is that we want to be all light all the time, and we don't want to focus on any of the bad stuff or any of the negative stuff, and we turn away from the condition, and we focus on the light. But what happens behind us when we're only willing to turn and face the light? There is a shadow. And in that shadow, things are happening that if we aren't willing to look at them, they are doing damage to other folks, to ourselves and our subconscious and things like that, to the planet and everything like that. So that's where we're headed. So everybody take a deep breath. It's okay. It's okay to be headed somewhere that's a little harder to hear about. But first, I want to start with this idea of light and dark and how we have so much association with the light and the dark. So when you think of the light, the terms that come up to my mind are shine your light. You want to be a light worker in the world, the light of truth. What else? What else? If you think of something online, shoot it out into the chat. Can anybody think of any other light sort of phrases? Shout them out to me if you can. Guiding light, that's a good one. What did you say, Richard? Oh, the soap opera guiding light. This little light of mine, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Anything else? Anyone online? Oh, love. Yes, Elizabeth. Love and light. It's all love and light. I send you love and light. Yes, yes. Anything else? Oh, you are the light of the world. Thank you, Tim. Yep, that's another good one. Anything else? We don't ever say you are the shadow of the world, do we? What about dark? What comes to your mind when you think about dark? Dark Night of the Soul. That was the first one I came up with as well. What else? Wrestling with your shadows. Healing your shadow. What? It's always darkest before the dawn. That's a great one, Richard. Yeah. Any online? We have to do our shadow work. Oh, hello, darkness, my old friend. Yes, Elizabeth. Any others? Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of evil. Yeah, that one. The shadow of death. There we go. Yes. Yeah. So we have all of these motifs, all of these ways that in our mind, subconsciously, it has gotten in there that the dark is bad and the light is good. Now, what about white and black? It's not a real big jump to go from light to white, right? And dark to black. So white we tend to think of as good and pure and holy and angelic, right? We don't see angels clothed in black very often, do we, right? And same thing with black. It's dirty, it's polluted, it's bad, it's not what you want. We also don't tend to see people decorating their houses in beautiful black minimalism, right? It's always this white minimalism that just shows how pure and holy you are, right? And so what happens when we do this? Our brain makes other comparisons. All of a sudden, it becomes easy to move from light to white, and then to move from white when we think of the color of our walls to white when we think of the color of our skin, and black when we think of the I don't know, army tanks and things like that. And then all of a sudden we're moving to the color of our skin. And suddenly, how easy is it for us to start associating wrong myths and beliefs and subconscious ideas onto people simply because of how they look? So, and what I hear a lot from people is, not me. I don't do that. I understand that I have all of these subconscious things and that the whole world is telling me that light is good and dark is bad and that it's showing up in all these different ways, but not me. I don't have anything that gets into my subconscious that I don't want in there, right? So I'm going to play a little game with y'all so that we can just see how much things get into our subconscious. So I have some jingles, and if you know the where the jingle's from, shout it out or put it on the chat. Or if you just recognize it, you have heard it before and your brain goes, oh, yeah, I know that, then raise your hand, okay? Or say, yep, I recognize that if you're online, okay? So here is the first one.
That was easy.
Who all recognizes that was easy? Staples, yes. I didn't have as many hands raised as I was expecting, but don't worry, it gets easier. All right, what about the next one? Yep. State Farm is there. Yep. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I sounded just as good as some of them do on those commercials, right? All right, what about the next one? It's a little harder to remember the company, but I don't think anyone who is alive in the 90s doesn't recognize do, right? That is Intel, and every time our computers started up and our Intel processor started, right? We heard that little do. All right, and then here's the final one.
Meow 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 meow.
Song, y'all. Meow Meow Mix. It's the treat that cats ask for by name. Shout out to anyone who remembers the original color of the original cat from the Meow Mix song. Anyone? Anyone online? Orange, yeah. So y'all didn't think you remembered, but you really did. You know why? Your subconscious is at work. Our subconscious is constantly taking in information that we don't even realize it's taking in. And so while we might not have recognized or remembered the fact that that was the Intel processor, we did recognize those 4 beeps. And in fact, I have read science fiction books where those 4 sounds is what the person keeps hearing that makes them think they're going crazy because they recognize it and they can't figure out from where. That is how ingrained this stuff is into our subconscious. And so all of that is to say that none of us get a pass on our subconscious being affected by society and being affected by the messages that we are putting out into the world. And so as long as we as a spiritual community continue to have these ideas about the shadow is good and the light, or the shadow is bad and the light is good, and we want to stay in the light and we want to turn away from the condition, we're going to continue to implant into our subconscious that there are some people who just deserve to be in the shadow. There are just good and bad people in the world, and I don't know why I think that person's good or bad. I just do. And we never stop to think that maybe it's something that has been implanted into our subconscious. Now, here's the good thing. We can change our subconscious. And it takes a lot of work. So I was doing a little bit of research, and it takes 3 to 4 weeks of constant daily subliminal reprogramming for a new message to get in our subconscious. Now, most of us are not receiving constant daily subliminal messaging to reprogram our brain, right? Maybe somebody will develop that where you put some bone conductor in your ear and you can't even hear it, but your brain is constantly being reprogrammed to whatever you want. But as of right now, I don't know of that technology. And so it's going to take us a really long time to reprogram these things out of ourselves individually and to invent the systems that we have in place that keep this programming alive. And the other good news is that it's not all on you. We get to do this together. I am wearing my Be the Match shirt that I got for being the match. You send in a saliva swab and they put you into a registry, and then if somebody needs a bone marrow transplant, they can contact you if you are a match for them, but you're already in their registry. And it says it will take all of us to save one of us. We are in it together. There is an inescapable web of mutuality, and we are only as free as the least free among us. We are only as saved as the least saved among us. It's going to take all of us. And so we get to choose how we're speaking. That's our conscious thought, and we can choose that. And it takes work because we have habits, right? But we get to choose that, and we get to choose what are we allowing into our minds. What are the TV shows we're watching? Who are we listening to? What are we up to in our daily lives? And what is the programming that's getting in there just by having the news on in the background? What is the programming that's getting in there? there? What is the music that you're listening to? Who are the people that you're talking to? What are the signs you see on the road? And no, we can't control all of this, but we can control some of it. And the more that we can begin to be aware of when that subconscious programming is coming back up into our lives, the more that we can make the subconscious conscious, and the more we can change it. So, I'm trying to decide where I want to go next. So the subconscious programming, I want to go back a little bit to this idea that the color of our skin means that we are different. We're going to step away from, that we have this subconscious programming that dark is bad and light is good. And we're going to step into, we think that black and white are different, right? Just not even skin tone, just in general, black and white are two different things, right? We even use it to talk about how two things are radically different from each other, or that's black or white thinking, right? It's either black or white. You're either pregnant or you're not. Those are the two options, right? We use it to mean that there is a clear delineation between two things that are very different from one another. And that also gets implanted into our subconscious. So they did a study in 2016, so a little bit of an older study, but not that old in the grand scheme of things. And 50% of medical students believe at least one false myth about the physiological difference between white and black folks. There are still, and this is medical folks, and so I'm going to read some of these, and I wonder, just think, did you believe that? Is that something that somebody told you, or you made an assumption, or you read it in a book somewhere, because these things are still in books and textbooks that we are being taught from? And just notice, don't judge yourself, but just notice. Black people age more slowly than white people. Black don't crack, right? That's what they say. Black people's nerve endings are less sensitive than white people's, and therefore they don't feel pain as much as we do, or they don't feel pain in the same way that white people do. Black people's blood coagulates quicker than white folks. Black people's skin is thicker than white people's skin. Black couples are more fertile than white couples. And black people have stronger immune systems than white people's. Are any of those anything that you've ever heard before or thought, or maybe you hadn't thought about it at all? And yet, and there's more of these, yet 50% of medical students believe this myth, and that's just medical students, and they studied all the way into residency. In residency, 25% of the medical 25% of the medical students that they surveyed still believed that black people's skin was thicker than white people's skin. 25%. And so I bet that some of us here in this room believe that for whatever reason. And it's not a right or wrong thing. It's just a noticing. Did you know that modern spirometers used to measure lung capacity still have a race correction built into them today, because they assume that black people have 20% less lung capacity than whites, because it was a theory invented by a pro-slavery doctor oh my goodness, I just completely lost the word, to be pro-slavery in 1851. And yet today we are still making medical equipment that is based on that false belief. The BMI index was used to prove that white bodies were more beautiful and better than black bodies. And it was created by a racist mathematician. It wasn't even created by somebody in the medical field. So these things are still built into our culture. They're in the very framework, and they're showing up in our subconscious, just like the Meow Mix song, right? So here is the good news, or here is the action steps / good news, right? Because this is all, it's all nice and well and good to say these things and to understand that this is happening and to know that this might be a part of our subconscious. And yet, I'm not telling you this to beat you up for having these thoughts, these subconscious beliefs, these ideas. We all have them. No matter the color of our skin, we all have these wrong ideas about ourselves, about our bodies, about the world. And so what I'm calling us to do is to step away from the labels of good and bad altogether. Because as soon as you label yourself as a good person, you're unwilling to look at anything that you label as bad and say that you might do that. Right? If I'm a good person and I know that racist thinking is bad, then anytime I have a thought, that couldn't possibly be racist because I'm good and that's bad. But if I set those down and I say, I'm a human, I make human mistakes, and one of the human mistakes that we make are subconscious beliefs and systems that are in place that really aren't even a mistake because we didn't even know about them in the first place. And so instead, I can be aware and I can gather the information and I can make informed decisions. And so what I'm asking of us is to set down these ideas that there is good and there is bad, and that somehow being in the shadows is worse than being in the light. Because the reality is that we need all of it. And I don't know about y'all, but the last time I stepped outside on the most sunny, brightest day of the year, like especially if you've ever traveled to like Napa, I don't know, the sun is just stronger out there, right? Everything is washed out. Have you noticed that when you're in really, really, really bright sun, that you can't see color and distance and depth perception as well as when you're in a more shadowed space? Has anybody else noticed that? I'm seeing a few nods, right? And so what we need is the darkness as well. That is what provides the depth perception. That is what provides the beauty and the ups and downs and the color and the magnificence and the brilliance. It's not bad. It's not wrong. It just is. And all of it is necessary. We live in a world that includes light and dark, period. That's not bad or wrong or good or great or any of that. It just is. And so throughout this month, I'm going to be calling us to step away from these preconceived notions that we have about who we are and how we show up in the world so that we can actually be aware of what is happening and the impacts that we're having on the world. And so all of this, it starts within, right? It starts with unpackaging and looking at our own subconscious, and then it moves out into the world. What are the systems in place that support my subconscious in believing that? How can I change these systems? What are mine to do? How can I make sure that when I'm in relation to someone who is radically different from me, whether that is a friendship or just somebody that I'm talking to in the line behind me at the grocery store, how can I make sure that I'm not bringing these subconscious beliefs and preconceived notions into that conversation? This is what we're going to be unpacking this month. So everybody take a deep breath. The good news is you are not bad or wrong. And the news is that you're not good or right either. You just are. You're a human being. I'm a human being. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we're right. Sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we know we're right. Sometimes we know we're wrong. Sometimes we have no clue. And so we get to just be aware. And then we mess up and then we're aware. And we're aware, and we're aware, and we're aware. That is what is being called of us when we look at the light in the shadows. And so I invite you into prayer. And so I know that light, shadows, good, bad, right, wrong, all of it, all of these ideas, preconceived notions, the subconscious, the conscious, all of it is actually just life. Life showing up as life, experiencing and expressing itself as the totality of everything that is happening everywhere, every when, everyone, everything. That there is an allness, an infinite, eternal, absolute something that is so grand and magnificent that we can't even put a name on it. And so Ernest Holmes, our founder, just called it the thing itself because it just what is. And it encompasses all of this without judgment, without making anything more than what it is. It's just simply information. It's just simply life expressing itself. And so we step into that knowing that we are life expressing itself, that we are that thing itself showing up as the individualized expression of itself. That every breath we take is the breath of the divine, that every step we take is a step on sacred ground because we are the ones that are standing there. And so we can breathe deeply and relax into living this life fully, into stepping into our awareness, into leaning into our growing edges and learning from all of our mistakes, from doing better and better and better each and every moment of each and every day. And by being willing to step away from those labels of good and bad and instead just see ourselves and everybody around us as human beings, because that is what we are. And I am so grateful for this beloved community of amazing human beings, not good or bad, but whole, totally existing as themselves in each and every moment. And we are doing that together, totally showing up and existing as ourselves in each and every moment. I am so grateful. And so I simply release my word. I let it go. I know it is done as I have spoken. And so it is. And so now I'd like to invite Eli up for another song.
Okay, light, darkness, self-improvement. I have just the song. Yeah. This one's called To the Stars. And I was thinking about what you were talking, I was thinking about space a lot, and the darkness of space and how that is kind of scary, but also beautiful at the same time, because we need that that space needs to happen to have a solar system, to have a certain distance from the sun. So that was really cool. This song is called To the Stars. It's about kind of like us as a rocket ship going into space and kind of improving ourselves along the way. Here we go. And ashes spring forth. I could be a little less, I could be a little more. Spinning round on a Ferris wheel, reaching out the window, trying to feel something, anything, yeah. Looking out over cityscapes, man, I'm just trying to escape on a rocket ride into the night. I'm singing now, woo! And ashes spring forth. I could be a little less, I could be a little more. A fire, control. From the center of the earth to the stars, I'm singing now. Woo! From the center of the earth to the stars, I'm blowing the embers, my flame will rise. I must have looked out in the starry skies 1,000 times, but never as I am tonight. I must have lived and died 1,000 times, but never as I am tonight. And I know it won't be easy leaving the surface behind, but my flame is rising up out into the night. I'm singing now, woo! And ashes spring forth. I could be a little less, I could be a little more. A fire control. From the center of the earth to the stars, I'm singing now. Woo! From the center of the earth to the stars, I'm singing now. Woo! From the center of the earth to the stars, singing now. Whoa, oh, singing now. Whoa, from the center of the earth to the stars. Thank you. Woo!
Yes, that reminds me of Heraclitus, the philosopher, who says that we can never visit the same river twice because we are a different person and it is a different river. Yeah, thank you. So this is the time in our service for our gifts and our offerings. And so I invite you to just take a deep breath with me and gather all of the gifts that you are, not that you bring, that you are, to your heart with me right now. And knowing that your very presence here is a gift to the center, your love, your light, your darkness, your shadow, and your growth, and everything in between, your wholeness. And we are a tithing community. We tithe out 10%, and we run on your gifts and offerings to the center, your tithes, your donations. That is what keeps us able to offer all of the programs and events and able to spread these teachings out into the world and have book sales and hybrid services and a space for people to come and all of the things that we do. And so we are so grateful for all of your gifts, for your offerings, your tithes, your talents, and your treasures that you bring to us. And now I'd like to invite Jenn up for an offertory affirmation and blessing.
So our offertory affirmation: divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so we just open our hearts, opening to receive. And it is from that overflowing that we give. And so I know that each person is in that space of giving and receiving and receiving and giving forever on, forever feeling the wonder of it. And I'm just grateful for all the donations that come in and all the time people spend and the treasure they share of themselves and how it blesses each of us and blesses the world. And so it is.
This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Thanks for being open to hearing my original music. And if you like it, take it home with you. It's on all the things, and you can listen to it wherever you go. Light, darkness, not good, not bad, just being. I've got just the song. This song is called There's a Light. There's a shadow on the wall. of an angel come to call and remind me of what I've always known. She whispers in my ear the words I can barely hear, but the meaning I can feel in my bones. There's a peace just outside my window. There's a war raging at my door. But there's a light and a darkness there. And if I close my eyes and go deep inside, I can see that there's a light and a darkness there. There's a light
And then here comes Eli Lev with his song about light and darkness and shadows of angels to prove me all wrong. I love it. Thank you so much. Let's give one more hand to Eli. It is such an honor that he comes and visits us when he's home from his touring. And today at 12:30, we will be doing our community conversation hybrid, so it's in person and online. And so grab a sandwich, grab some food at home, and join us by going to celebrationcenter.org and clicking on Enter Zoom Events. Also, $5, fill your own bag. If you don't have a bag, we will give you a bag. Take books. If you're in the area, come on down. We'll be here till 2, giving you books, as many books as you can carry in a bag for $5. And now I have an affirmation for us. Are y'all ready to repeat after me? Something wonderful is happening right now. I release old ideas about bad and good. I am open to new perspectives. I see the value in everyone. I am a blessing to the world. And so it is.